this is a fun story. So this is one of my favorite things is to catch people self-owning. So in 2016, in Philadelphia, I met this guy, Josh Fox. He did that movie Gasland, right? It's about fracking. So he's super big about fracking. And, I could tell pretty quickly that he was a bit of a grifter, Josh Fox, and that he was more about his career and his self-promotion than he really was about anything else. And so he's doing it again. He's such a Democratic hack because that's his career path goes through the Democratic Party, and that's why he does this, right? And it's so obvious. I don't know. He's not fooling anyone. He's just playing ball so that the Neera Tandons and the Debbie Wasserman Schultzes like him. Republicans are helping Greens stay on the ballot in swing states. This should tell you all you need to know about both. So Josh Fox does this every 4 years. He's like a voter shaming volcano. Every 4 years he goes off. By the way, he has a new show. I'll help promote it for him. It's called Staying Home with Josh Fox. Why would anybody name a show something that sounds like a punishment? Every so often, the guy who made films exposing the evils of fracking shames you for not voting for candidates who vow to protect fracking. The system's working great, folks. So this is the guy telling you to vote for Joe Biden. Joe Biden, the guy who promises to keep fracking going. His number one issue. Do you see how when you're a careerist inside the Democratic Party and you pretend you're an activist, do you see the pretzel twist you got to tie yourself in? Do you see the knots he's tied in? It means the GOP are using the Greens against the majority. It means the Green Party is so craven that it is willing to collaborate with racist fascists. Learn these things and act accordingly, unlike Joe Biden, who is not a racist or a fascist. Joe Biden, who passed the crime bill, who said we do everything except hang jaywalkers. Joe Biden's treatment of Anita Hill was fantastic. Joe Biden, who voted for Antonin Scalia. Joe Biden, who was part of the administration who did Libya, who did Syria, dropped more bombs than George Bush. That's the racist fascists. This is called projection, Josh. I know you don't know that. Josh Fox pushes false information propagated by the Washington Post. This should tell you everything you need to know about both. Hey, genius, if the Green parties are craven for collaborating with the GOP to give voters more choices, then what are the Democrats for collaborating with big oil, big banks, and big pharma to give us fewer choices? Courageous? Do you see the kind of knots you have to twist yourself in when you have to defend the Democratic Party while trying to be against bad things? He's a pretender. This is all pretend. He'll take any horrible thing the Democratic Party does as long as they'll give him a seat at the table. And that comes right out of his mouth. They're using the Green Party against the majority. They're using the Green Party against the majority. You know, the people who don't vote and are disenfranchised by the two-party duopoly. The Democrats gave Republicans that lied. The Democrats gave Republicans that lied us into a war primetime speaking slots at their convention.
Yes.
I'm not sure that this is the own that you think it is.
Nice work, Green
So
Mile.
how much longer is it going to take for everyone to see through Josh Fox? Here he goes. I'm not going to say I told you so, volume 2 million, but Dr. Jill Stein is a fraud.
Oh, my God.
This is a guy who pretends to be an activist shitting on actual environmentalists. This is a guy who's in bed with the machine. Josh Fox is in bed. He's a servant to the machine through and through. He's got no integrity. And I got a million fucking shit stories from anybody who's ever worked with him.
Yes.
He's a fucking narcissistic fucking megalomaniac. Josh Fox made Gasland, but if you want to sum up his Twitter thread, just drop the G. Assland. That's the joke. I wonder if Josh wags the same finger at voters he uses to hit send on tweets that should never go out. Hey, Trump gives in to Putin, refuses to impose America's sanctions on Russia. He's a warmonger. He wants us to have more. Hey, let's saber rattle with the nuclear power. Why? Because it helps him inside the Democratic Party. And he's a warmonger, and he's in bed with the machine. Who do you think is going to... Anyway. The tone and user descriptions of so many of these comments are really bullying. Reminiscent of trolls. Yes, some of them even say they are Russian trolls. Hashtag Surkov. That's a real tweet. That's a real tweet. What's Josh going to just blame Russia for the Green Party? Oh, I'm sure he's done that. Because here we go. Canvassing on the phone. So Josh Fox said if the Green Party's, they're working with racists and fascists, and that's all you need to know. And they're working with the GOP to give people more votes, more choices. But guess what? When you point the finger, you have three pointing back at you. Here's Josh Fox campaigning for a Green Party candidate in 2017. Canvassing and phone banking is what really wins elections. We need you now. This guy has gone on to join the DSA. He was a Green. Why Sherry Hunkala? Here's Josh Fox telling you to support Sherry Hunkala. Who is Sherry Hunkala? She was Jill Stein's running mate at one of those elections. She's a Green. So when it serves him politically to act like he cares and to get street cred, he supports somebody who actually got street cred, Sherry Hunkala. But that's all over. Josh needs fucking neoliberal funding for his next movie or whatever the fuck it is, and he wants a seat at the table, words out of his own mouth. He's willing to suppress his activism so the Democrats include him in their group. That's his words. Here's what he said about Sherry Hunkala. In my years working with progressives across the country, I never have seen anyone quite like Sherry Hunkala. She has put her body on the line and has been arrested more than 200 times. If you want someone who will stand up for ordinary people, vote for Sherry on March 21st. We all know Pennsylvania politics is inherently corrupt. Pennsylvania politicians routinely defend corporations and the oil and gas industry instead of the people. You know, like Joe Biden, the guy he's telling you to vote for now. That won't happen if you vote for and elect Sherry. I guess he's the decider. He gets to decide when it's okay to be a Green and when it's not. He's the decider. He gets to decide what if it helps his career or if it doesn't. When you're trying to figure out who started a war, ask yourself who benefits from it. Never the common people, always the power elite. Joe Biden has promised to increase the military budget. Joe Biden did Iraq. Joe Biden did Libya. Joe Biden did Syria. Joe Biden did Yemen. Joe Biden kept us in Afghanistan. Who the fuck are you talking to? Who do you think doesn't see through your bullshit? Fracking must be criminalized everywhere. This is Josh Fox, Mr. Grifter. Everywhere. It is starting to happen in Pennsylvania. We must stand with the citizens who have been harmed for over a decade. And how do we do that? We got to vote for him. We got to vote for the Democrat, right? Because the Greens are Russian and they're fascists and they're racists, right?
I am not banning fracking. Let me say that again. I am not banning fracking.
So I just want to make that fracking must be criminalized everywhere. It's starting to happen in Pennsylvania. We must stand with the citizens who have been harmed for over a decade. That's his number one issue, according to him.
I am not banning fracking. Let me say that again. I am not banning fracking, no matter how many times Donald Trump lies about me.
But it's the Green Party. They're the bad ones, not the Democratic Party. So if you really cared about fracking, this is your guy. and then you and then you demonize actual environmentalists. I think your grift is fucking transparent. Weren't you the fracking is killing us guy? Here's Ryan Knight saying, I regret my vote for Hillary Clinton, but I will not regret my vote for Joe Biden because I am not voting him. I will never vote for a corporatist again. We live in a dying world that is being consumed by corporate greed, and I won't support evil in any form, not even a lesser one. Good for you, Brian. Joe Biden is just another problem. We all know this was coming from For a People's Party. It's bait and switch. Vote Joe Biden. Vote Joe Biden. Vote Joe Biden.
I am not banning fracking. Let me say that again. I am not banning fracking, no matter how many times Donald Trump lies about me.
Vote Joe Biden. Don't vote green. Don't vote for the people who are actually against fracking. Vote for the guy who's for it. That shows you're a good person. It kind of shows that Josh Fox is a bit of a schizophrenic. Or his integrity is situational. He doesn't have any. Pro-fracking Democrats are hypocrites, climate deniers, and not your friends. Vote them out. Vote Joe Biden. I'm not making this up. This is him. Pro-fracking Democrats are hypocrites, climate deniers, and not your friends. Vote them out. This is a crucial race, and the anti-fracking movement in Colorado, get involved today. Vote Biden. Do you see what happens to you when you need a career that's connected to the Democratic Party, and you actually want to, and your route to get there is to be an activist against fracking? Do you see the knots you have to twist yourself into? Do you see the schizophrenia that's happening there? Pro-fracking Democrats are hypocrites. Climate deniers. Vote Joe Biden. Vote for the climate deniers. Vote for the hypocrites. Vote for them, says Josh Fox, because it'll help me in my career path inside the Democratic Party, because I'm not that talented, and I got to make friends. He was Academy Award nominated for that Gaslight, I'm pretty sure. Something like that. It was he's nominated for something. And believe me, that is going to be his moniker for the rest of his life. Nominated. Got that nomination based on the subject matter. But I look forward to, I'm sure he's very artistic, and I can't wait to stay home. Go watch Staying Home with John. Standing in the corner getting spanked with Josh Fox.
You know,
Sucking up to corporate power with Josh Fox. Pretending you're actually an activist while pushing corporatism with Josh Fox. Staying home and doing that. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.